What are the best teams for the new STR tag Rose and Zamasu? How's it, everybody? Celtic Link here. We got another Dokkan Battle video for you here today. We are taking a look at the brand new global Dokkan campaign, LR, STR, Goku Black, Super Saiyan, Rose, and Zamasu. We'll take a look at their kit, what they're doing, and figure out what are the best teams to utilize with this character. And of course, we'll also be taking a little dive into the best link partners for this character, which of course will in turn inform the types of teams we build around this character. So let's start by taking a look at the unit itself here. So let's look at their passive here. So in the Rose, which is what you're starting as, you get attack and defense 200%. You get an additional key 2 per key sphere obtained, attack and defense 80%, and attacks effective against all types for all allies whose name includes Goku Black. Per extreme ally or future saga ally on the team, he gets attack and defense 50% up to 150%. So you only need 3, and chance of performing a critical hit and damage reduction rate 20% up to 60%. So again, only 3 allies of one of the 2 categories will work. When all allies are extreme or future saga, he gets guard for as long as that rotation stays, and when activating the active skill or attacking with 18 or more key, he gets an additional 200% attack and launches an additional attack that has a 70% chance of becoming a super attack. When receiving an attack, he gets defense 180%, and starting from the 4th turn, he can exchange into Zamasu. Now, his active skill will massively raise his own attack and deal ultimate damage, while also buffing super bosses for 15% for 4 turns, and additional 10% defense for those who are also on Future Saga. Now, if we want to exchange him into Zamasu, we can do this from the 4th turn, and the exchange will grant us key 7 and attack and defense 200% with a high chance of performing a critical hit and guards all attacks. When attacking, he gets attack and defense 200%. He gives Future Saga allies damage reduction 10% and gets attack and defense 200% and launches an additional attack additional super attack rather. No chance, just launches an additional super attack. He also gets attack and defense 300% and performs a critical hit and recovers 6% of the damage dealt as HP when HP is 60% or less. Now, basically the way these 2 characters work is when you are in the Rose form, you have some pretty decent defense. He can slot 1 it for most fights, but you want to use him slot 1, so not only can he buff the rotation for 60%, but he can stack his attack up. When you feel you've stacked up enough attack, you'll exchange into Zamasu, or if you're running both of them and you want to put them both on a rotation, you can exchange 1 into Zamasu and 1 into Rose, and you can kind of flip-flop them actually. Like I haven't really played around with that because a lot of the newer fights are kind of short. You don't really get to play with that much, but you know, what you could do is, you know, kind of swap them back and forth. That's another option there. But anyways, with when you're ready to swap into Zamasu and launch his active skill, right? Because his active skill is going to hit a little bit harder than Rose's. It's going to buff himself, dealing the most amount of damage. So in theory, you want to have both tags working together, so that way they're supporting each other as well as the rest of the team. They make a pretty powerful combo. Rose especially buffing all characters who include Goku Black, and that includes the Zamasu side of the other Rose and Zamasu unit. So with that in mind, let's take a look at some of the teams we have going for them. So I did set up a few teams here to take a look at. So starting from the top, one of the best teams you can run for them, and they will clear with items, mind you, but one of the best teams if you're short on super bosses characters, because that is what he leads, right? He does lead super bosses. You can throw him on a team here with the free-to-play Rose squad. All of these units are just about 10th anniversary DFE TUR levels worthy. Some bosses you might have to utilize items. Again, it's a free-to-play. I wouldn't expect that much, but it's still a pretty powerful team once they're fully link leveled, right? You have the tech unit who can provide, sealing and attack lowering. You have the int one providing 2-turn support. You have AGL also providing support, right? You have STR for attack along with your main attacker, and then you have Fizz for tanking, right? Like, you just all around a really solid free-to-play team, and one of the best teams you can utilize for Rose. Another great team for Rose that is pretty good in some of these shorter contents is this team, the second team we have right here, utilizing the AGL Rose as a partner and the Int Rose, and we'll talk more about partners at the end here. But utilizing this team right here will help you through some of the shorter content that is currently available. You have two good partners here through the AGL or the Int Rose. You have Cell Max, who provides a really good target skill for the team starting from the 4th turn, and since this is a full super boss, right, it's back. He's got a chance to be run now. Could be a little iffy on some of the major supers and things like Battle Hard and Formidable Foes, or even the new fights. But if you can help him avoid supers, that turn 4 is really helpful in changing the tide of battle. The new Super Easy A Goku Black is also incredibly useful for his team. Does really well on top of supporting and attack and defense lowering. Very helpful there. And then of course Broly Trio, always going to have a place here. Combined with the STR Rose, who is also changing key spheres, or even if you put a few of the free-to-play ones to change key spheres, it's very easy for him to maintain his 7 key spheres and provide support for the team as well as guaranteed dodge. Another great team that they have for the Rose is on Hit's team for accelerated battle, rapid growth in Universe 6. So you can see here, in order to maintain, right, he just needs either a full extreme or at least one Future Saga ally on the rotation. So as long as you have him partnered here, we brought the Int Rose here and the AGL to provide that one that one future on the turn with him, but this is still an all extreme team and it will work really well. This is the only way, by the way, to get Champa on the team with Rose, who does support Rose, which is, don't ask me why they put Rose's supporting character on the DFE banner, and don't ask me why it's a Champa who is on neither one of their leads. But if you want to use Champa as a supporting, because he does support Universe 6 and Realm of Gods, you have to run him on Hit's team, which is still a pretty good team. Hit does lead accelerated battle, rapid growth, Universe 6, and super bosses as his sub lead. Another great team you can utilize for him is this one right here with the Goku, the new STR Goku, running mostly Future Saga. Now this team currently only works because these two, the Tech Gogeta here, or not Gogeta, the Tech Vegito and the Int Rose, are currently being buffed. So once that buff goes away, you'll have to remove them. But right, like having a rotation here of this guy and the Fizz Gogeta will, or why do I keep saying Gogeta? The Fizz Vegito, and then the other rotation of this guy and the AGL, and then keeping the other two as your floaters will work just fine. And who knows, maybe we'll get something like Vegeta and Trunks and Int LR Zamasu that can replace these two LRs at the end here, right? The LRs are very helpful for raising the HP of the team overall. So they, hopefully you would replace them with some LRs. So these are just some examples of some teams. I think these are probably some of the best setups you can run for them. Obviously it's fight dependent, right? Like if we pull up, we'll just pull up super bosses right here real quick so you guys can see. Oh, nope. Not that. Super bosses, right? So if we just pull up super bosses here, right, there are some units that you can fit in there. The Universe 6 girls are on the team, but because of Rose's extreme class condition, you'll end up with a Rose that's on a rotation eventually. Like let's say you ran the U6 girls and the other U6 girls, where are they? The Tech and the Fizz, like, right, let's say you ran those two as a rotation. Depending on who your floaters are, which is likely to be the other STR Rose, they'll end up on a rotation with the superclass ally and no future ally, so they could run into some trouble. But it is a team you could throw together if you wanted to put them on if you were lacking options. So, for example, right, if I want to just quickly build a team here, right, for the new fight, something like this would actually work out really well, right? Rose, we'll bring AGL Rose. Hit is good for his Usher, and then we'll bring something like these two here. It seems crazy to have those two here, lowering our overall HP, but the thing is that those two, Kale and Caulifla, against the Goku and Vegeta fight, they have, or not Kale and Caulifla, but the two Tech Cauliflas, they have guaranteed dodge against that fight. So, right, you could do something like this, and it would work really well. It gives you a perfect slot 1 that will just tank up Vegeta's stunning super. So, you know, it's very, actually, not Universe 6, well, I mean, Universe 6 and subsequently Super Bosses are actually in a really good spot right now with the Rose, and it only stands to get better by the end of the celebration. So with that, I did want to spend a little bit of time here at the end talking about their best link partners. So if we flip over here to the Dokkan FYI, one of my favorite websites when we talk about link partners, you'll notice I've mentioned quite a few of the major link partners already, and I'm going to show you why they're so good. Looking at this website, great website. It has, you know, it tells you everything you need to know about their super attack effect and even the details about how much is getting specifically buffed with each one. It goes over their passive skills, the buffs they get from each lead or from each link, and then who they best link with. So you can see here the best 6 skill link partners are the Nth Rose, the Fizz, Goku Black, and the opposite STR Zamasu. So, you know, if you really want to push the power of the character, you want to link them with one of these 3. If there's an event that can attack lower, then this guy can actually still be utilized pretty well. But outside of attack lowering, he is a bit of a risk. But currently, this guy and this guy are your best options for linking. If not, believe it or not, I've mentioned this guy very much. The new Super Easy A Rose shares Dismal Future, Fear and Faith, Nightmare, Big Bad Bosses, and Fierce Battle. So that means he's getting from him, just by being linked with this TUR, even though it's only 5 links, he is getting 15%, 25%, so that's 40%, 60% attack just from these links alone, as well as having some extra ki, which really helps him out by being linked with that. Obviously, right, if you want to push him the most, not only does Zamasu support him a little bit, this would give him the most power, right? Dismal Future, Fear and Faith, Nightmare, Big Bad Bosses, Fierce Battle, Legendary Power, right? Legendary Power is the big one, right? Because that extra 15% when he attacks. So you're actually getting 75% here on Super, which is really, really powerful. Same goes for this one, right? It's the same, not exactly the same links, right? He gets Kamehameha through this one, which the Rose does have, and that's an extra 10%. So he gets, what is it? 10, 25, 20, 15. It's the same, actually. Okay, and then so you can also flip over. So this is just the Rose side of things, right? If we want to exchange here and take a look at the Goku, the Zamasu, obviously, like the 6 links are going to be relatively the same, right? He's going to link with the Rose, but he also links really well with the Tech Zamasu, who in the shorter fights can work really well. The N Zamasu stands a chance to get a Super Easy or Easy A, and the Tech Zamasu stands a chance gets a Super Easy A. All share 6 links with him, so really, really good there. Hopefully they do Easy A, right? If we're getting Nightmare, Dismal Future, Godly Power, another 15%, right? So this would actually be a better link partner for the Zamasu over the Rose. Be very, very helpful. And then same with this guy, Godly Power, right? Godly Power, that extra 15% in crit is going to be very, very helpful. So, and that's just the 6 links, right? As you can see here, right? They've still got some pretty good 5 link partners, 4 link partners on the Zamasu side of things, right? The AGL Rose, the STR, the Ent, the Fizz, who still is actually pretty good with all the buffs that they're getting. And then, of course, your free-to-play Rose Squad all share 4 links. And surprisingly, right, if it's a shame that Rose leads Super Bosses because you know, Frieza's on here, and they share 4 links, and that's pretty, you know, that's pretty good, which is kind of really all Frieza needs to kind of go off. Same with like things like Cellmax or Janemba, right, who still have some good use depending on where you're at, even in Janemba here. So hopefully the part 2 maybe leads in Human Deeds or something, which a lot of these guys are on. That might be helpful for granting those guys access to a home, but we shall see. But either way, very, very good partners. The character, you know, their partners are easy to access, which makes them a more reliable unit, I think, than their opposite superclass unit, the Goku and Vegeta, just because theirs are really heavily reliant on fusion, which already that's kind of a rough team. They're very powerful, but not always very synergistic, whereas this team very much synergizes very well. So we're going to go ahead and close it out there. Guys, that is it for the video. Those are the best teams for the Goku Black and Zamasu. If you guys like the video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And in the comments down below, let us know what team would you like to run with the Rose. I've showed you quite a few different teams here, I think, that work really well. But is there a special setup that you like to run with these guys? And what do you think of their performance so far? Let us know in the comments down below. Otherwise, guys, as always, thanks for watching, and aloha.